Today is Thursday, May the 28th, 2026, and it is 5:30 p.m. For the record, let it show that all council members are present. At this time, we will have an invocation from Councilman Arona and the Pledge of Allegiance from Councilwoman Trujillo.
Our Heavenly Father, we come before you with humble hearts, asking you to give us the wisdom, the courage, the understanding to do what is right with God and with the city. Guide us in all our endeavors. Guide us with your light to what is right. Steer us from the wrong and grant us the wisdom to accept those things that we cannot change. This we ask in the holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, if you have your cell phones, please make sure they're on silent. I'm going to open the floor for public comments. This is the time for residents to share with the council any comments, concerns, and/or compliments that they may have. Each speaker is asked to limit their time to 3 minutes. Please come to the podium and state your name for record-keeping purposes. Your comments should be directed to the City Council as a whole and should be related to city business. We ask that everyone remain civil and avoid profanity, threats, or personal attacks on individuals. If comments become disruptive, stray from city business, or violate these rules of decorum, I may pause or end the speaker's time so that we can continue with the meeting. The public comment period is reserved for members of the public. Council members cannot speak during public comment as public speakers, respond to comments made, or get into discussions on any public comments. Such discussions require an agenda item.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As all of you know, my name is Kenneth West. Last night, and seeing item number F7 on your posted agenda, I felt compelled to speak in public comments. These comments are not meant to disparage or insult any person in this room or in this city. I have learned that item number F7 might or might not be tabled tonight. In my opinion, it would be your best option to table that option. It would be a strategic error to move forward with that item. In the PEDC bylaws, section 10 plainly states, and I quote, "No amendment or new bylaw shall become effective unless the Board of Directors and the Town of Pecos City approve the amendment." And I can promise you, you get 3 votes here with this council, you will not get 5 votes over the EDC. It takes 5 affirmative votes at the EDC to change the bylaw. So you may get them over here, not over there. The only way to approach this subject is what Mr. Ponton and former city attorney and Seth Sorensen did to me back in 2017. You need to pass an ordinance identical to 171101. As it was explained to me by Mr. Ponton, the ordinance overrides the bylaws of any component unit of the city, which is exactly what the PEDC is, a component unit. Now also, after reading the article last night, it disappoints me that the PEDC and the Board of Directors are worried about spending $2,500 when they are sitting on approximately $32 million in the bank. You heard that right, $30 million. They sold the test track for about $23 million. They were sitting on $8 million before that. They just sold land to the hospital for about $2 million. So please explain to the citizens of Pecos how not trying to hide information over a measly $2,500 when you're sitting on $30 million. Something just doesn't seem right. The favorite saying over the last few years is all we have to do is count to 3 over the city council. Well, I hope those 3 votes, those automatic 3 votes, supporting all the actions of the EDC, highly reconsider their backing of an organization that has brought such negative light with the citizens of Pecos and a definite, to use your words, lack of transparency. If you can't get the EDC in line and back in a positive light, consider section 11.01 of their bylaws. At any time, the Town of Pecos City, in its sole discretion, may, by written resolution, number 1, alter the PED structure, organization, programs, or activities, or 2, terminate the existence of the PEDC. Thank you for your time and your continued work to betterment of Pecos.
Any other public comments?
Mayor and Council, Griffin Moreland, Assistant to the City Manager. I'd like to briefly announce the start of the city's 2026 Summer Internship Program, which has officially kicked off this past Tuesday. There are 16 new faces running around the city. Some are in this audience right now. The program has been generously supported by the City Council for several decades now, so this is just the next iteration of this program. This program is designed to promote education, professional development, and giving young people exposure to the government that's closest to them. And much to the dread of the interns, we have introduced a new requirement this year, and that requirement is each intern must address the City Council and attend at least one meeting. Some of them, I think about half of them, chose to take the opportunity to do it tonight, so you're in for a bit of a public comment wave. But there's no better way to learn local government than addressing your public body. So over the next coming council meetings, many of them, like I said, tonight, their supervisors will introduce them, and then their intern will take over, introduce themselves, talk about why they applied, and then more or less explain what they want to get out of the internship program. And Madam Mayor, I am quite sure that if you have to cut them off at the 3 minutes, they will be greatly relieved. And I understand that Miss Christie Wright's interns want to be going first, so please don't sacrifice them too much. But without further ado, I will yield the floor to various interns.
Mayor, Council, Christy Wright, Pecos Animal Shelter. I have 2 interns this summer. Both have requested to work at the shelter. They want to learn more about animals, and so we have Julie and Jordan. Who wants to go first?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jordan Martinez, and I am an intern with the Pecos Animal Shelter Department. I am a high school student at Pecos High School, and I am in the 11th grade. My plans after high school are to attend college and study business and management. I joined the internship because I wanted to learn about jobs and how to become an adult. One thing I've done is, today I got my first dog, and I learned how to process them and to put them into the shelter. One thing I've learned from this experience is how I just started, so I'm learning how everything works, but I am excited to keep on going. After the internship, I hope to have a better understanding how an animal shelter works and how to become a good adult. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Juliana. I am an intern in the Pecos Animal Shelter Department. I am a high school student at Pecos High School. I am in the 11th grade. Our plans after high school work with major animal shelters. I joined this internship because it's a great opportunity to experience this internship with animals. One thing I've worked on, or observed so far is every animal has a different personality. One thing I've learned from this experience is patience with the animals. After this internship, I hope to have better understanding of all the different animal laws in different cities. Thank you, Council.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. P. Morales, Sanitation Supervisor. We as well got an intern at the Sanitation Department, Angel Hernandez.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Angel Hernandez, and I am an intern with the City Sanitation Department. I am currently a high school student, and I want to share why I joined this internship program. Last year, I was also an intern, but I interned for the Facilities and Maintenance Department, where I learned a lot about building repairs and maintenance. This year, I chose the Sanitation Department because I wanted to learn more about what happens with all of the trash and garbage that people and us throw out every day. One thing I did learn is that landfill is organized and maintained way more than you would think it'd be for being the landfill. I could barely see any trash anywhere, and I thought maybe they burned it, but I learned that the trash is placed into large trenches, compacted, and covered with dirt every day. So far, I've learned a couple new things. Like, I've ridden in the roll-off truck, which is a very interesting job. I've also rode in the water truck that helps keep the dust down so everything stays nice and organized. And I've watched many of the heavy equipment in action and how they are used in various ways to help. Even though I am still undecided about what career path I want to follow, I do plan on graduating high school, and I know this internship has already taught me valuable lessons that will shape my future. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Savannah Woodward, Director of the CVB Visit Pecos Department. And I'd like to welcome Riley, who is our summer intern for the CVB, and let her introduce herself.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Riley Villanueva, and I am an intern with the Visit Pecos Department. I am a recent high school graduate, and I have also received an associate's degree in general studies. I will also be attending Odessa College in the fall and hopes to receive a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. The reason I joined this internship is because I thought it was a great opportunity for me to get a real taste of what having a job feels like, since this is my first one. I also believe that this internship will help me become a better person of interest for more jobs in the future. One thing I have done so far is planning on making posts for people to view and influence them to visit our town. A thing that I've learned is that you need an open mind in this department. And after this internship, I hope to take what I've learned and build on it. Maybe land another internship that challenges me even more. I want to use this experience to stand out on my resume and show future employers that I'm ready to take on bigger responsibilities. Thank you, Council. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Philip Ondiveros, Pecos Proud Supervisor, and I'm here to introduce my intern for the summer. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Ricardo Garcia. I am the summer intern for the Pecos Proud Department. I am a Pecos High School graduate of this year, 2026. And I joined this internship because I want to experience other things, how the machinery work, and just gain experience. One thing I've done is clean up the sidewalks, cut weeds, and taking out the trash to the landfill. One thing I experienced is that we're always outside, which I like, even though it's hot outside. And after this internship, I hope to work here more and probably get into college. And thank you for your time, Council.
Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Like Kim, I want to talk about transparency. Okay, so right now we're building, in the midst of building stage 3 of the Hidden Heroes project. The contractors there are Silver Fox and Kleiman from Presidio, which Jimmy hired. Okay, so I was made aware this week that Conrad is a consultant for Kleiman, and it should have been disclosed. And that Jimmy's sister also works for Kleiman, Jimmy Dutchovers. Anyway, this is not a good way to do business. You know, we've got to get the trust of the community, and we're not doing it by stuff like this. We're not transparent. So anyway, and it makes me wonder about the bidding process. I would like to see the documents on the bidding process. I called Nicole today. She's already on top of it, so I appreciate that. Also, I want to point out too, when we do stuff in the city, it's for the benefit of the community, not us on the council. And so we shouldn't be profiting from what we do up here. And I would like to ask Conrad if you resign from the consulting job and pay back all the money we collected. I would like to see Jimmy's sister also resign. So again, it goes back to being transparent with the citizens and getting their trust back.
You know, we constantly repeat after every council meeting how Pecos is being taken advantage of. Except we don't use those words, brother. we use more derogatory statement, but since there's a group of kids here, I'm gonna keep it clean. I'm very disappointed to hear what I just heard. And we turn around and abuse our position of leadership to financially benefit ourselves? We weren't elected to financially benefit ourselves. We had a fiduciary duty to the constituents of this community. Yet we come around and we take advantage of this situation to better ourselves and our group of friends. Charles, were you aware of this?
I was.
And why weren't we aware of it?
Because it's not the city that engaged in that agreement. It's a third-party consultant.
But how does that look, man? We're catching all this heat on the press, negativity, the EDC, and we got one of our own council members and supposedly one of his sisters. You have to honor and respect this position and do what is right, man. And I'm really just, I mean, if it wasn't for these kids being in the audience right now, I would really speak my mind. I want to hold a special meeting with the EDC director, the vice president, the president of the board, and I want them here to answer some questions. It doesn't need to be disclosed. What leadership are we showing the future generation being in a position of an elected official to take a full advantage of the situation, keeping us in the dark? No. It ain't gonna happen moving forward, I can tell you that.
And Council, I might just, this one's not on the agenda.
I know.
We can't discuss it.
Please put this on this, make a special meeting. It's ridiculous, man. It's embarrassing. I apologize to the crowd. I really do.
Are there any other public comments? We will go on to our consent agenda. Approve the minutes of the May 14th regular city council meeting. Review the ACO, PD, and ESD call report. Review the expenditure report.
Any questions? I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda items.
Have a motion from Councilman Graham, a second from Councilman Arona to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries. We'll go on to our non-consent agenda. Item F1, presentation of the Keep Pecos Proud Trophy to Icon and WTX Beast baseball teams in recognition of their efforts following the semi-annual community cleanup. This is under our strategic goal 3, promote a visual image of Pecos. So good evening, everyone. Tonight we are proud to celebrate community spirit, teamwork, and the pride that makes Pecos special. The town of Pecos City hosted our 2026 spring biannual community cleanup in April, and I'm proud to share that it was one of the largest cleanup events our city has seen to date. With 73 volunteers participating, our community came together to collect an incredible 109 large bags of debris from across Pecos. Cleanup efforts focused on several important areas, including Highway 17 to Highway 285, County Roads 116 and 118 and 3rd Street. These efforts reflect the dedication our residents have to keeping Pecos clean, welcoming, and beautiful for everyone. Tonight, we are especially proud to recognize one group that truly went above and beyond through hard work, teamwork, and dedication. WTX Beast Baseball and Icon Baseball collected an outstanding 30 bags of trash, the highest total of any participating group during this cleanup effort. That's 1/3 of what was collected. I'd like to invite the players, coaches, and representatives from both teams to come forward so we can present the trophy and take a group photo. On behalf of the town of Pecos City, it is my honor to present the Keep Pecos Proud Trophy to WTX Beast Baseball Y'all want to come around here? Okay. No, ma'am. I'll get a picture. Come on up.
I got this wife and she'll yell at me if I don't do it.
Wonder who that is. Now, we will go to item F2. Recognition of 3 police officers, Daniel Correa, Gustavo Silva, and Richard Natividad, for heroic and life-saving actions in saving 2 lives, including CPR and Narcan administration. Strategic Goal 2, Safe and Secure City, Lisa Ferrano.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Lisa Ferrano, Chief of Police. Many times you don't hear of the good stuff that happens with police, obviously. A lot of our guys really feel like it's part of the job. The gentleman that we're going to recognize tonight, the month of April was just really hopping with things that were happening. And so if you give me a little bit of time, I'll go through with a little explanation. So today we gather to acknowledge an act of true courage, an act that reflects the highest ideals of public safety, bravery, and the commitment to protect others. It's my honor to recognize the heroic actions taken on April 15th, 2026, during a life-threatening incident that happened at our Pecos Animal Shelter. On that day, what began as a dangerous dog bite call, where we were dispatched, escalated very quickly into a critical situation. Animal control officer was attacked and severely injured, continues to go through surgeries to correct the injuries and get some rehab afterwards. Facing the imminent danger and in desperate need of help in that moment without hesitation could have actually cost a life. The swift and decisive action made all the difference. Through rapid response under extreme pressure, appropriate and controlled use of force to stop the attack, and the immediate delivery of life-saving first aid, our officer prevented further harm and assured a fellow public servant made it safely to medical care. What you did that day was not just your duty, it's an extraordinary demonstration of courage, preparedness, and compassion. We often say that true character is revealed in moments of crisis. On April 15th, this officer's actions spoke clearly. He placed himself between danger and another human being. He acted with professionalism, calm under pressure, and a commitment to preserve life that reflects the very best of who we strive to protect as public servants. This officer has helped people that day. Their families have been helped, and this entire community are safer because of what he did. Incidents remind us that why our work does matter and why the people who choose to serve, who run towards danger when others run away, are extremely exceptional. Today I not only want to recognize his actions, but I want to express clear gratitude. I want to thank him for the bravery, for the quick judgment, and thank for embodying the high standards of service that our department protects and the support of our community every day. You are a credit to our agency, to the city, and to all who wear this badge in defense of others. I want to honor today Gustavo Silva for heroism, and I am proud to stand with him as a chief of police. So Gustavo Silva.
This way.
Oh, let's go up here. I'm gonna turn around this way. Thank you. Patrol Officer Kimberly Villa, and she was the one that was helped by Officer Silvas. Said April was quite the month, and so next one is we're going to come together to recognize an exceptional courage, swift decision-making, and true dedication to the safety of our community. April 30th, 2026, officers responded to one of the most urgent and heart-stopping calls any first responder can receive, and that's regarding an unresponsive infant child that's in critical distress. In moments like these, every second matters, and hesitation is not an option. Recognizing the severity of the situation, the responding officers immediately took custody of the infant, not waiting for emergency services to respond. They began the emergency transport themselves. While en route, life-saving first aid was given, including the Heimlich maneuver, to clear the infant's airway. Their quick thinking, training, and unwavering focus ensured that care was delivered without delay until the hospital staff could take over. So one patrol officer drove while the other doing Heimlich maneuver in the passenger seat. Because of their swift and decisive actions, a life was saved. It's been discussed at the hospital by the doctor that had this not been done, it would not have been a fair and favorable outcome. Their response reflects not only the technical skills, but the very core of public service, bravery and compassion, commitment to protecting the most vulnerable in our community, which is children. Today we honor these officers for their extraordinary efforts. Their actions on that day exemplify what it means to serve with excellence. They stand as a powerful reminder of the important impact one moment of courage can have on an entire community. I want to thank Officer Daniel Perea and Officer Gustavo Silvas for your professionalism and your unwavering commitment to saving lives.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I am glad to say that Mom and baby are here and are doing good. Again, April was an extremely busy month for these guys. The next one is we're going to recognize an extraordinary act of service, one that reflects the highest standard of commitment and courage, professionalism within the agency. April 29th, 2026, our team was dispatched to a call on South Park Street involving an unresponsive individual. A situation like this, every second obviously carries weight, and every condition and took decisive act between life and death. But the response didn't stop there. When the patient's medical efforts continued until medical personnel arrived. Everybody thinks like a few minutes of CPR doesn't take a lot out of you. It does. So these guys were trading off when it was happening. Because of the swift, skilled, and unwavering response, the patient's breathing and pulse were again restored, and a life was saved that day. Acts like this are highlights more than technical training. They reveal character. They show a deep commitment to duty, a calm presence under pressure, and a dedication to protecting the lives of our community members, even in the most urgent and unpredictable moments. Today's recognition is not only about what was done in those minutes on April 29. It's about the preparation, the readiness, the courage behind that response. It is about the values that guide our agency and our police department and the community we proudly serve. The actions of the officers that day reflect the best of who we are, Officer Daniel Perea and Sergeant Richard Natividad. So what you see as certificates, actually, there are awards that have been ordered. Proud, honored, and humbled I am to lead such a group of people, as they were saying. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to item F3, proclamation recognizing the vital services provided by the Town of Pecos City Public Works Department. Strategic Goal 5, promote open and consistent communication.
Have some of our supervisors and directors in the audience. I just wanted to thank you for recognizing this amazing team. These are the folks that keep our show do actually happen. So last week we actually celebrated them. We had a luncheon. Mr. Lino joined me and was able to, if y'all could stand up, I know we've got a couple of y'all there. Thank you all for the privilege to lead these wonderful men and women.
Thank you, guys.
Proclamation to read.
Yes, ma'am.
This is whereas National Public Works Week is celebrated each year during the third full week of May to recognize the importance of public works in an organized society and the vital role public works professionals play in our daily lives. And whereas the Town of Pecos City chooses to recognize the period of May 18th through May the 22nd, 2026 in honor of its Public Works Department and the essential services it provides to the community. And whereas since 1960, and the American Public Works Association has sponsored National Public Works Week to energize and educate the public on the importance of public works, including planning, building, managing, and operating infrastructure that improves the everyday quality of life for all residents. And whereas the Town of Pecos City Public Works Department is responsible for critical services such as streets and essential operations that protect public health, safety, and welfare. And whereas the dedicated professionals of the Town of Pecos City Public Works Department demonstrate skill, Week provides an opportunity for residents, businesses, schools, and visitors to claim May 18th through 22nd, 2026 as National Public Works Week services they provide and for their continued dedication to maintaining a safe and healthy and thriving community.
Thank you very much.
And real quick, Mayor, Council, Michael Bach, Assistant Public Works Director. One thing that I think that I've been trying to really instill in the team, I consider it a team, right? Everything we do is vital. Every person, every role they play, it plays a role. It all trickles down, you know, from our well field to our meter readers to our landfill, you know, to our streets. So one thing that I've been trying to instill in them is kind of just letting them know is what we do, it matters, but how we do it matters even more. So that's one thing that we're really, really trying to instill in our team to make sure that they know that they are important. You know, a lot of things run through public works, you know, so we're continuing to try to build that. So, all right.
At this time, we're going to skip to item F8. Discuss, consider authorizing the publication of intent to enter into a tax abatement agreement between the Town of Pecos City and Itzmo Midstream Holdings, Inc. for a LPG fractionation plant and export terminal project. Strategic Goal 5, promote open and consistent communication. Nicole.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Again, Nicole Farini, Assistant City Manager. I'm not going to present this entire item. There are folks here that can speak to the company and the agreement more than I can. They're representatives of the company here tonight. However, I do just want to asking you is to authorize the publication of our intent to enter into the tax abatement agreement, and we will be having a public hearing, 30-day period. We anticipate that will be on the July 9th. I think that when you told me July 9th City Council meeting, and so happy to take any questions about what that means, but we'll turn it over to representatives of the company that are here tonight to have a conversation. Yes, sir.
Nicole, I always try to ask, what's the benefits going to be for
Correct.
Pecos, and what's the cost going to be for Pecos?
Yes.
Yeah, can get that. I'd love to see that.
So we absolutely will be providing that to the council within this 30-day period. Again, tonight I'm not prepared to speak to that. We will be negotiating that and finalizing that negotiation, and we will be coming forward with that information when we finally adopt in 30 days. And I believe these gentlemen are here tonight to speak to you. But yes, sir, we will be providing that information to you. Mr. Lino, did you want to add anything to that?
No, Councilman Graham, just to answer that, there was a proposal that's been sent to us that has a couple of items. I've been in conversation with Mr. Maldonado on that, and the reason that we're not providing you anything yet is because there's some modifications that Parker and I are working on before we even present you anything.
All yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Good evening, Mayor and Council. First of all, thank you so much for allowing us to be here today. Bobby Maldonado on behalf of and with Alex Gutierrez of Vismo Energy, and I'll certainly let Alex address any questions you might have and the project itself. Nicole had mentioned July 9. What may be a better target for bringing this draft agreement forward might be the second meeting in July, and I think we had talked about
I
the
think she
possibility.
was talking about the public hearing on July 9th,
Okay.
before the agreement on the second.
Okay, then if she's talking about the public hearing on July 9th, that's certainly amenable to us. In consideration potentially of the agreement, it can happen anytime after July 9th. It could certainly happen on July 9th. We're certainly good with July 23rd, which would be your second meeting in July. We wanted to give the council and staff the opportunity, of course, to be able to look at the agreement. We would expect it would be very similar to what you've already seen and experienced and approved the previous groups that have come before you. But we wanted to make sure there was plenty of time to talk about points and items within the agreement and make sure everybody's comfortable with it moving forward. I look forward to working with Mr. Lino and Mr. Johnson with respect to ironing out any questions or details or things that they may need. I know that ISMO had presented to council late last fall, and I will certainly let Mr. Gutierrez discuss anything that has happened since then, but we wanted to keep it simple. We're going to stay true to the presentation that was made last fall in terms of what the agreement is going to entail. More news to come, but as it relates to this agreement, we just want to keep it as straightforward and consistent with what was presented a few months ago.
Do we have to have two public hearings or just one?
It's one.
Just one.
Yes. And we also have entity notice requirements that go along with the notice of the public hearing. We just wanted to make sure that we provided plenty of time to do so without having to try to rush the process. So I'm happy to turn it over to Alex and any questions that you might have for me or for Alex with respect to the project.
Yeah, and first of all, I'm Alex Gutierrez. I'm the CEO of Ismo Midstream Holdings. This is a project that we started developing more than 6 years ago. We've already invested money in the community. We've mobilized people into the community and are part of the community. And we believe that our project will bring not only economic benefits for the community, we're looking to grow with the community and listen to the council and to the city to understand how we can be a good neighbor, a good participant, and a good community member for Pecos. And our intention is not only to do business in Pecos, but to be a positive impact to the city and to the community and to the county. So I'll take whatever questions. Just briefly, for whoever doesn't understand what we're doing, we're planning to build a gas processing facility here in Pecos. And the idea is for the products that we are going to be producing to be exported to markets internationally and to Mexico and also to the west coast of the United States and locally. But rather than taking the product out of the ground and shipping it to the Gulf Coast and processing it there, we're going to be processing it here and basically selling it out of Pecos. And we hope that gives an opportunity for not only employment, but also to, one of the things that we are true believers on is helping young kids to be doing internships with us and helping in their education, et cetera, et cetera. So with that, I'll turn it over to you and see if anybody has any questions.
So the only thing that I ask that when we do our public hearing, we make sure we answer the questions on how much water is going to be used, what gas is going to be used, what land is going to be used, all of our natural resources, how are they going to be used, how are we going to mitigate waste, what are you going to do with waste products, noise, all that, because that's what everybody is asking.
And of course, we're going to be able to address all the impacts. There's positive impacts, negative impacts, and basically address any questions that anybody may have.
That's all we ask.
Where's this going to be located?
It's going to be located, the rail terminal is already purchased. It was built back in 2017, 2018. It's a rail terminal that is probably 3 miles west of town. It's on County Road 408. It's a 200-acre parcel, and it's already connected to the Union Pacific rail line.
So you already got an investment here.
We purchased that terminal in 2021 and basically have been spending a lot of time doing the engineering, coming into agreements with our different suppliers, and we mobilized the first personnel here to Pecos. In fact, we purchased a house for him, which is Luis Salinas. Luis Salinas is in charge of the project here locally, and he's been a neighbor of the community since, 2023. And we are expected to break ground as soon as we are able to come to an agreement on the tax abatement.
And how long will it take to get where you're up and running?
The construction time is going to be roughly 14 months from the time that we start the project, which is programmed to start probably at the end of July of this year. So commercial operation date is going to be sometime in the fall of 2027.
You know what benefits you're going to give us when you do if we do the abatement?
Well, one of the things that we've been discussing is basically the construction. Well, besides generating jobs and during the construction phase and during the operation phase, in addition to that, we offered to build housing. And the other thing that we offered is to set up a scholarship fund for kids that graduate from the Pecos High School so that they can go to college, to Salvos University, and basically pay for their education. And the way that fund would work is we would donate that money to the university. The state university system has a fund that basically manages these types of endowments. We would contribute that money to the state fund for them to manage, and the Reeves County and the city of Pecos would we would be in charge of awarding the scholarships every year. And the idea is for this fund to be an endowment, so that it's a perpetual endowment and it helps kids from the point it's funded forward.
But it isn't just for Sol Ross, it's for any school that's under the Texas State University system.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And you said housing?
In housing.
Well, how many, what are you talking about?
We're talking about building roughly 15 houses.
Can you put a summary on all the benefits we might receive during the dog outing?
If I may, sir. I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to jump in front of this a little bit. Some of the information that y'all are asking for tonight is part of what we will present fully in the public hearing. What is being discussed now is the starting point for that negotiation, and that will continue, and I think that's what Mr. Lino was speaking to. We all know that housing is a big need, and we want to talk about what is the best way to deliver that to the people of Pecos, so we'll be talking about that. Obviously education as well. So we're very, very pleased that ISMO is here and that they are willing to have this discussion with us and start the basics of this. But I would like to be able to come back to you with a clear presentation of what we can offer and how that offsets the proposed abatement. And so we'll be doing that in the public hearing, if y'all don't mind.
Councilman Graham,
Sorry about
what
that.
I'd like to do is possibly get you to come by the office and I can show you the initial agreement and tell you what conversations that Ms. Franny and I have been having and that we're going to propose. I've already had conversations with Mr. Maldonado, and I'd like to give you an idea and show you exactly. I mean, I can present it to all of council, but it's going to be preliminary if we don't do it that way. So I can show you the agreement that was sent over and let you know what modifications that I'm going to propose.
So all we're asking for tonight is permission to set up the public hearing.
Correct. Authorization to announce the public hearing in 30 days.
It says intent to go into negotiations or?
Publication for intent to enter into, so that's their public hearing.
Okay, the intent.
So we do intend to enter into an agreement with ESMO. We are finalizing those negotiations, and in 30 days when we have the public hearing, we'll be able to confirm those benefits as Councilman Graham is discussing. But we are not entering into the agreement tonight. You're simply authorizing us to publicize, that public hearing.
The language is a little awkward.
It's a little what, I'm sorry?
It's a little awkward.
Quite a bit awkward.
It
From the
is.
intent.
It is.
If I can just address that briefly, what happens in situations like this is it's Chapter 312 of the tax code where we follow statutory language. What's written in statute, we kind of follow that with respect to moving forward in all the steps to secure a tax abatement agreement, and that's part of the language that's required. Ultimately, as you all know, the decision is yours. Public hearing is a prerequisite to consideration, and whatever decision is made down the road belongs to the council.
So I guess the motion would be just to consider having a public hearing.
Yes, a motion to authorize the publication of intent to enter into a tax abatement agreement.
Mayor, make a motion to how Mr. Ray stated.
Would you like me to restate it, ma'am, or you?
I can.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilman Arona, a second from Councilman Saldana to publicize the intent to enter into a tax abatement agreement between the town of Pecos City and its midstream holdings. Is that good enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So the motion carries with Councilman Carrasco and Graham voting against. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Thank you, Nicole.
Okay, we will go to item F4, discuss, consider a funding request for the 2026 West of the Pecos Museum operating budget in the amount of $120,000. Strategic Goal 6, sound governance and fiscal management, Dorinda Mion.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Dorinda Mion, West of the Pecos Museum. And I'm here again. Our budget really doesn't change over the years. I don't know if you have it in front of you. We like to put in what we contribute to the sustaining of the museum, which you can see that. We're asking for $120,000 to actually keep the doors open. We met with the Hot Text Board last week and we were approved for that amount. Every year, and with that in mind, every year, I'm going to continue. We have little projects that I call special projects, and that's just for like to do stuff to help that building stay alive because it's an over 100-year-old building. And if you turn the page, I'll start breaking it down for you. Actually, on the bottom of that first page, it breaks it down to you. Our special museum project needs, and it tells you exactly what it is, and then community city project, and I'll explain that in a minute, and then request for reimbursement. But if you bear with me, I will start off one of the little projects we want to do this year is to finish off across the street on the west side of the museum. We have two exhibits, which is our Chuck Wagon and Old Newspaper Print Shop exhibit. A few years ago, we were able to get that parking lot done. So it encourages people who have RVs that cannot park in our little parking lot across the streets to go over there and park big vehicles. So, and people do utilize that. But anyway, we ran out of money, so we didn't have the money to finish curbing the west side of that area. We want to finish that off. We also would like to, this little Pecosville, we call it the Pecosville Park, because we had a Pecosville mural at one time. But anyway, this little area, we had gravelled it, we had done a little path, but that was 25 years ago or so. So the gravel's pretty much gone, the path is kind of gone, and you'll see pictures, I included little pictures. And that's the amount it would cost to gravel it, either with some kind of, well, actually this part is not the gravel, we're gonna get to that in a minute, I'm sorry. We're just doing the curb right here and the sidewalk trail. We wanna make it better, so in fact, that parking lot, I'm thinking there's gonna be a parking lot on the west side across the alley. If it ever gets developed, that would be just a perfect place for people to walk through for any event that's going on downtown, or to go to the businesses that are downtown without having to go all the way around. They can just go straight through in our little park area. So that was with that in mind. And if you'll turn the page, this is what the part I was talking about, the gravel. Either we do some kind of gravel or the crushed granite. It just depends. We're looking at which one would be better for us. It's basically the same amount, and that's the price for it. And it also will beautify the area, not just, you know, for people to walk on, but it beautify the area. And then if you turn the page one more, and you'll see the back of our museum. I know most of you have seen that. That pretty stairway, which is our fire escape, was done in 1995, and we have not repainted the metal part. And if you see to the right of that picture, you'll see how over the years with the water, even if it doesn't rain that much in Pecos, we do get water once in a while. So you can see how it's just rusted. So we'd like to paint a second and third floor walls, just the walls right there, to cover up the rust. But we really, really need to repaint all the metalwork you see there, the balconies up to the third floor, and then the fire escape, which most people think is just a fancy, you know, stairway, but it's not. It has its purpose. So that's what we plan. That's one of our wishes that we want to do before it gets worse. And then we turn the page one more, another time. It's what I call community project, and community project is basically city things in our neighborhood, which is the park next to us. We've been taking care of it for many, many years, doing different things. I mean, from painting, I've painted signs from the Clay Allison grave to the Judge Ravine. We get up on the ladder, pull them down, and I'll repaint it. But anyway, that's here or there. So we take care of the park. One of the things that we need desperately is handicap ramp. People are always complaining because some people just stop there and start taking pictures of the Judge Ravine and the Clay Allison grave. It's hard for them. The older people, which we see a lot of older people toward the museum and of course going to the park, it's hard because they have to go all the way around to the north side where we have a handicap area, but it's pretty close to the museum on the corner. It's still in the same block as the park, but they have to go all the way around to walk in. This would be an ideal place. We just want a simple one, pretty much what you have here on the sides of the city hall, just to make it more accessible for people in wheelchairs or older people who cannot, because the curb there, it's real high. You have to just step over. We discovered that a lot whenever the streets were closed because of the train wreck. We all have to park there, and our volunteers and our staff, and again, the people who toured the museum, and they would complain because they would have to or go all the way around, you know, to get to the museum. So we'd like to have that handicap ramp installed there, and also the curbing on the west side needs to be really fixed up. It's not too bad. The one that's really, really bad, and I probably could put more pictures in here, also the one on the north side. And I'm always afraid somebody is gonna trip and fall there. Because as you can see, sometimes the curb just falls off and we get our little maintenance guy to go and glue it with cement back, and it's not a pretty picture, and it's just there. But if we don't do that, it's just a big hole right there. So we're wanting to redo that, and that's a price to do that project. And then you turn the page another time, and you go into, still in the little park area. Last year, we were able to get money to do some stages there because it's utilized the Hall of Fame and other community things go on there. So we have two really, really nice stages that were built there. And in fact, they've already been used a lot this year. But whenever they designed the little park area, they didn't realize that we were going to be utilizing it because of the shade. And of course, in Pecos, Texas, we want the shade. So a beautiful shade down there. The only thing is when they did the beds, they did them so big that it takes up a lot of space. So we're not able to accommodate too many chairs. And every time that we have something, some of the chairs are put into the dirt there. And I know it's a bad picture, but I couldn't get a good picture. But you see how round it is, how big it is. The chairs are going this way or that way. So we're wanting to just break it in a little bit more in order to accommodate more chairs for our different events that happen from not just us, but the community in general. And then the other one, taking care of that corner and also the Windmill Square. For the last few years, we've had this company out of Odessa come in a landscape, and they do a really good job. And if you turn the page, you see how pretty it looks. In fact, I didn't realize that the picture on the bottom had a picture of, I think it was a wedding or something, but a lot of the community utilizes, and of course, our visitors are always coming by. Whenever they like to have picnics. We have like tables in the back of the judge boardroom. They like to have picnics. But again, it's good photo ops for the community. And so that's what it costs to the upkeep for the landscaping. And then the last, you can ask any question, I'll just keep talking and talking, but y'all are welcome to ask. Anyway, and the last one is because we had to do this, December the 18th, 2024, of course, a train derailment. The parking lot in front of the museum, if you turn the page one more, you'll see a picture how bad it looked. And I could have put more pictures, but you get the idea. And there were 4 railroad cars in front of the building or in front of the museum parking lot, in the museum parking lot. We had to repair it because when we opened the museum, people were complaining because when they were driving to the parking lot, there would be a lot of holes and stuff, and they would be around. And again, I was afraid somebody was going to trip and fall, and that's another story. So we repaired it, and I'm just asking to see if we can get any kind of reimbursement on that. And again, this is what we paid at the 2 different companies. And then the last one is the different amount of people that we have from the states that we have throughout the year. You can see pretty much every state is represented in foreign countries. I know people are always surprised that we get foreigners to come into the museum, but we do get. In fact, today we had 2 from Australia. But anyway, I'm open for any questions.
Ms. Mian, do you guys advocate for anybody outside for any financial support besides the hot tax? Has anybody else stepped up to assist you guys in the community, like oil field companies, other nonprofits?
They do, but they have a specific goal in mind. They don't want to just us to keep the door open type of money. They want something for them. Like we just had Chevron, which we needed to update our gas and oil room, and they did a wonderful job of giving us a donation, and we were able to do that. But that's a kind of, they usually want something in return, not just, okay, you do whatever you need to. So that's the thing. But I understand what you're saying.
Well, and then I think I also brought up at the hot tax board meeting that these curb and gutters that y'all are proposing to do, that should be, those are city curb and gutters. So that's something that we should be taking care of anyway.
Yes, ma'am. If I may, Mr. Mendon?
Yes, of course.
So after the hot meeting, we did some research, and the way that our ordinance reads is that the property owner is responsible for all things all the way up to the curb and gutter, and we're responsible for the street. So technically, that's not within the city's purview to have to do that, but I know that you all discussed that, but I wanted to come back and let you know that that's how the ordinance reads on all private properties.
So discussing the curb and gutters, because I've had it brought to me a few times from different residents. One in particular, I think it's Fourth and Plum. It's breaking down, you step on it, it just craters. And yes, previous city manager said the same thing, and I'm like, it shouldn't be, it's part of the city. Why are we charging a residents more taxes to pay for something that they're paying taxes for us to have?
It's a common ordinance in cities that I've been in before and cities I've seen around. This does not mean that the council cannot direct us to assist in this case, whether it be through the hot funds or other sources. You can direct us to come back to you with options to assist with this project. But by default, I think the ordinance says that our street department would not naturally take care of that.
It's like going in, a new business comes in, right? You're supposed to provide curb and gutter.
Curb, gutter, and sidewalk, yes, sir.
So they spend that money on a curb and gutter. Deteriorates, they gotta spend more money to upkeep. Like Texas Mexico Power Company, we require a customer to dig a ditch, they want underground service. Dig a ditch, lay the pipe, then it becomes ours. After we run our wire, it becomes ours. We have to maintain it and then we control it. That's a fair trade-off. So I think that ordinance needs to be reworded, changed.
Have we never helped maintain any type of like curb, any maintenance stuff at the museum? Is this the first time that you're coming? No.
You've done it for years.
Okay, so
because I was told, or we were told many years ago, it's easier and quicker if we go through it this way as opposed, because y'all have so many parks to take care of. If we could just address it this way and it'll be taken care of and done. You know, and that's the reason we're taking care of the grass and all that, because over the years, many years, we've always done improvements to the museum, but the adjoining park, because it belongs to y'all or the city, but we overseeing it, we're taking care of it, and it's easier for us to spot what's going wrong, what needs to be done, as opposed to your workers, again, because now you even have more parks. So the jobs to get done quicker, you know, just that. But we've done it before for different things. I don't have a list, but I could probably come up with a list. So this is not the first time, and that's why I put community inside city, because we do this all the time, every year for the last, at least 15 years we've been doing this. That we include stuff that needs to be done, I'm sorry, in the park, because it's easier and quicker to get it done this way. Because again, you're always limited in your staff and so forth.
I think the museum should be, priority.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that we need to really take care of to help maintain. I hate that you have to come through the hot committee. I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't come through hot. You obviously need the funds and you need to get those things fixed, and it should be our responsibility, I feel, but I don't know if it should necessarily come to hot funding. I don't know.
So
Thoughts?
that's the crown jewel we have in our downtown area, the one thing that sticks out. The lights that the Keith exhibitor put up, that's adding to the flair of what's downtown, the attraction. But the museum is there, and if that part, it is ours, and they're taking care of it.
So
We need to do a trade-off,
Yeah.
you know? 'Cause they keep track of it, you know? So we need to do a trade-off. You know, it's not just they're coming in asking for money to take care of something that's ours. That doesn't make sense.
And I think, sir, if I might, what we suggested to the hot board and I keep nodding to Mayor because she was there, we suggested that if you all would like to direct staff to take a look at this and come back to you with a proposal that makes sense for the preservation and the continuance of the museum, but also stewardship of our budget. I think that's something we're absolutely willing to do if you'd like to direct us to do that.
That'd be one way. They're asking for 120,000, should be given 20,000 more.
Mayor and council has that discretion.
Any other discussion?
I wanted to ask, okay, do you have anything on 285 curbs?
And we have what?
Any curbs that need fixing on 285?
No, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're
It's just
fine.
in front of the museum and all the way to.
Yeah, and not necessarily in front of the museum. It's gonna be in the park, in the park area, on the north side of the park. Y'all can go there and look how, the park, and then on the west side, it's not too bad. They're gonna repair that, they wanna repair that, but on the north side, it's pretty bad condition.
Okay, so here's another thought that just hit me mentally. Turning my light bulb over. If the park is the city's, then is the city responsible for the curbs? If the park is the city, but they're taking care of it.
Well, last time it was told, and really tell me because it was told me by former staff, is the Parks Department was maintaining the park. I don't know if they are or not.
Oh, we're taking care of the grass and everything else there. We're doing it. We're doing it. The museum's doing it. And that's why, we needed my help, money to pay for the landscaping people who are going and cutting the grass every couple of weeks and fertilizing and whatnot. That and the Windmill Square.
So if we,
Keep Pecos Beautiful does not clean up the museum area, the most visited area of Pecos?
That's not one of the designated ones, no, sir.
I would assume it would be. I mean, it's the main attraction.
It's
Because this is
285. What we could do, though, is we could assign park staff to help out with that as well, I
Just
think.
have us a $23,000 invoice here, we could save money and let it go on our hot tax lines if we would just direct them to take over. I mean, it's not a big park.
That is something, if we were going to move forward on something like that, Councilman, I would say that we would get the Parks Department to put it on their rotation to get that done. That would be the most economical and prudent way to do it.
And not that they don't move fast, but the gentleman they have working with them is constantly on it, so it's kept pristine, So I know our guys have rotations to do to keep up. But
I'd very much like if we could, if y'all would direct us to work with Ms. Dorinda, we can talk about park staff to picking up some of that work, but we can also look at funding sources that can assist in doing that in perpetuity. We are going into the budget cycle. I think it makes sense for us to be able to bring back to you a complete package that supports the museum in total, and we would work with Ms. Dorinda to do that.
But again, the park belongs to us, the city's
Correct.
responsible for those curbs, not the museum, And they've been doing it for years. Without much of a fussle or complaint, so it's not fair. So we need to correct it. Yeah.
Can I also, before you do anything else, the parking lot that technically belongs to the city, we had to redo that because, again, we had visitors to accommodate it and us, of course. But is there any way we could get reimbursed for that?
Is that in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
The last page, right?
Yes, it's the last page.
The 33,000?
Yeah, yes. We have to do it, or if not, it'd be in disrepair. Because it's part of the railroad, which is technically, y'all are listening from the railroad, so we've just developed it over the years and to beautify the area and to make it more, open for people coming into town and the museum, of course. But it had to be done. If not, it would be not a pretty
Couldn't
picture.
wait for it to just.
We couldn't wait. We had to do it.
Okay, with that said, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the 120,000 with an added $33,808 to reimburse the museum for their.
But that's included in the
That's included on the,
Okay. But where's the curbs? The amount for the curbs? Yep, 13,985. I like the, this amount. Instead of 120,000, I'd like to make it 140,000.
I'll second.
And have a motion from Councilman Arona, a second from Councilwoman Trujillo to approve the funding request for the West of the Pecos Museum in the amount of $140,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mayor wanted to talk about inserting on that motion to deduct $23,480 and allow our Parks Department to take over and shift that money back into the hot tax account and use our money wisely.
But that they've been taking care
That
of
wasn't
the park.
allocated yet, Councilman. Those are additional dollars. The 120,000 is the amount that they requested just for the operating side. And everything below that, the 34,037, 675, and the 33,308 is not included in that 120,000.
It's not.
It's additional.
Yeah.
So we need to add the parking lot cost to this.
33,808.
When did you get your president to do a lot of the yard work and stuff?
You have better pull with Mr. President than I do.
So
He's celebrating right now.
If this passes for the 140, then we can work with deducting the part off.
Correct. I mean, I think if I would suggest, you could proceed with the 140, but also direct staff to work with Mr. Inda to reduce the amount pulled from the hot fund as much as possible, utilizing park staff and or other funding sources, and we can bring that back to
So
you.
do we need to amend our motion? Remove our second and amend our motion?
I think if you're going to move forward with the 140,000, you're okay. We have the direction from our side that we will continue working with the Dorinda on the rest of it, and that we will have the internal conversations about addressing the costs related to the maintenance of the park internally.
So, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? You're opposed to the 140?
Yes, ma'am.
Let the record show the motion carries. Councilman Carrasco voting against.
Thank you.
We will go to item F5, discuss, consider a request to the Planning and Zoning Board for the property owner Vicente Esparza Flores for a zone change from C1 to a residential 2 on the property addressed at 427 North Ash Street, legally described as lots 28 through 31, block 60, North Pecos, in the town of Pecos City. Cindy Fuentes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's not Cindy. My name is Sophia Gomez. I'm here in lieu of Cindy. So this item was presented at our last Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Our Planning and Zoning Board did decide that they wanted to approve the zone change. The city did recommend that it not be approved due to there being a commercial business already located on that same block. The Planning and Zoning Board did decide to go through with the addition to approve this item because they were notified, or they were made aware that if it did change to a residential zone, the commercial business that is there would be grandfathered in.
What business is it?
So it's a new business that came in. It's called Graceland Portables. It's kind of like they sell storage buildings there.
But they're surrounded by houses.
It is surrounded by houses.
So that's just like Eddie Street is R1.
Yeah.
Then yeah, we have tons of houses and businesses.
Let's see one.
Yes.
Yeah. What we've done before,
Yes.
I don't see.
I don't see the difficult problem with it.
Are you Mr. Esparza?
Yes.
What are your plans for your property?
Well, I plan to bring my family here, my wife and my 2 kids back, so they can be in high school, whatever.
You can
And
build a
I've
house.
already been living here 10 years of my life, and, planning to bring my family here, which I'm already here, and I'm now bringing my family over here.
Well, thank you for that.
Be help Pecos community and, help. If you guys need help, or I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Are you building a house?
Pardon me?
Are you building a house?
Planning to put a mobile home, buy a mobile home and just put them in there and bring my family here.
Can you repeat what was the reason why they turned him down?
They did, the Planning and Zoning Board approved this.
Oh, they approved it.
The city went and recommended that we not approve this due to there being a commercial business established on that same block.
Is this by Chinatown?
No.
No.
I'm looking on the map, that's
By north side, north of the tracks.
very familiar with Pecos, I just can't put my eyes on this.
It's next to where the Rock Boulder Hotel used to be,
Okay.
that hall, yeah.
Got it. It's on the backside.
Yes.
Yeah. Y'all see that map? I didn't see anything.
I don't foresee a problem putting a mobile home there.
No, and then it's like that.
And it wouldn't be a mobile home.
Mobile home, yeah.
So that's what the zone
Right.
change is for. It's from
A mobile
C1
home or a manufactured?
to R2.
manufactured.
Mobile homes are not allowed inside city limits,
Right.
so it would be a manufactured home.
Okay, and there's a lot of manufactured homes and mobile homes out there. So.
I know where your property's at.
We're good.
I'm sorry, but I take. That makes sense, but I agree.
I'd like to make a motion, if anybody has any questions,
Go ahead.
to approve changing from commercial to residential, so that this individual can have the opportunity to bring his family and put a mobile home there.
I'll second. I have a motion from Councilman Carrasco, a second from Councilwoman Trujillo, to approve the planning zoning request as presented. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries. Thank you. We'll go to item F6. Discuss, consider approval of a temporary access easement and a road access easement agreement between the Town of Pecos City and Aqua Blanca LLC for access across city-owned property related to the DBR expansion project, Strategic Goal 7, Enhance Pecos' infrastructure network. Parker Johnson.
So I did ask Parker, just in case you had any legal questions for him, but I do have Mr. Juan Sandoval, he's a permit coordinator with Agua Blanca here. If you have any questions for him as well. But our city attorney did review the easement agreement and made some modifications. Other than that, he had no further concerns unless you have questions for either him or Mr. Sandoval.
Wendy, I'd still like Parker to stand up there.
We're gonna have to walk you out there, Parker?
That's my bad.
You were walking nice and smooth.
They reached out, they wanted two different easements. One, they wanted a permanent road easement, and one, they wanted a temporary one. We went back and forth on the proposed form of easement. Some modifications I made that I thought were in the city's interest, most of which were okay with them. They did try and counter some of it, but told them my position, and ultimately it was a council decision, and they ended up going with the version I proposed. Now, whether to approve it or not, obviously, is up to the council. The fee that was discussed, which is again up to the council, but if we went by the UT damage schedule rate, road easements are $80 a rod. The two roads here are 156.47 rods for one and 109.54 rods for the other. So total would be $21,280.80 paid to the city. Now, one of the changes I did make, instead of a permanent road easement, I revised it to a 10-year term, which we've been doing lately, so that after 10 years it either expires or it automatically renews, or it may be that they have to intend to renew it and give notice of intent. But if they do intend to renew it in 10 years, the city does get paid each 10-year term, as long as it is renewed.
It's 10 years common?
10 years is pretty much the standard from the UT damage schedule, which is the more or less market rate from anything easement related or pipeline or road.
So is that for the permanent or the temporary?
It didn't have a distinction for roads, so it's both. The temporary one, the term in the written easement agreement is 24 months, and then that would terminate. The other one, 10 years, or if there's a cessation of use clause. But if there's any other questions, just let me know. And also, I did meet with Juan a couple of times to discuss, and he can answer your questions better on where it is or what they need it for, but I'm happy to answer anything else about the proposed easements if you'd like.
What was the amount of money?
About 12,500 for one and just under 9 for the other, total of 21,280 and 80 cents.
And do we have, are you very familiar with these type of oil and gas easements? You've done these in the past?
Yeah, we've done them. We've done them not infrequently.
Did we ever get our oil and gas consultant on board to just look over these kind of things in the future, scrubbing them to make sure that, we're kind of, have some representation from their expertise, kind of like what Midland has? I brought this up a couple of 5 months ago. Did we ever get on board or somebody like that? So whenever we have a situation like this, we could just let them look over it and kind of see.
We haven't had any for a while. This one, this is the first one we've had in quite a while. We had talked about checking to see if the Mahorkas law firm that we engaged in Boston had this expertise, and I can tell you that I'm involved.
Well, we have Joseph Rodriguez, who's from here, and works for an oil and gas firm in Midland.
Well, this isn't oil and gas. It's not mineral. It's just roads.
It's just roads?
Road easements.
Okay, so never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, I brought his name up with oil and gas.
Any questions? May I make a motion we approve item F6?
Approve the temporary easement and the road access easement agreement as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Opposed? No? Okay. Let the record show the motion carries. We will go to item F7, discuss, consider recommending an amendment to the Pecos Economic Development Board of Directors bylaws, strategic goal 5, promote open and consistent communication. Randy Grant.
Make a motion to table that.
May I ask why?
I'm gonna go back, look at that again, maybe change something.
But from what I read in the paper, it's pretty severe what the paper wrote. And there is something illegal going on that you're aware of. We need to make it public now and nip it in the bud now.
I'm transparent. I don't want anything going on. But I want to go around.
No, you're not being transparent. You know something.
No, I don't. I want to make a resolution and stay.
But I've always said, one of us is like hand in a cookie jar. We're all like hand in a cookie jar. I don't care how far you are, what you think you're not. And if the EDC, if you know something substantial is going on, we need to know. Okay.
Ordinance.
Okay.
I have a motion from Ms. Graham. Second.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Councilman Graham, a second from Councilman Carrasco to table item F7. All those in favor say aye. Is that a yes? Is that a yes?
I'm going to give it that benefit of that. Some
Ayes? Motion carried. Hector, yes?
Yes.
Conrad, no?
No.
With Councilman Sedania voting no.
it's a real slim yes.
Okay, item F9, discuss, consider authorizing the publication of intent to enter into a tax abatement agreement between County Pecos City and Spartan Protection Services. Strategic goal 5, I've been told that they want to remove this from the agenda. I guess I need a motion. Or do we just, no action?
If there's no action, there's
No
no
action?
motion.
Okay. No action on that item.
Who's Spartan?
That's actually miswritten. That's actually supposed to be Spartan Entertainment Enterprises. That's a new business that Miriam had brought in, and due to the bereavement, Miriam's not here to represent herself.
Marion,
My wife. She's one of the small businesses that just opened up recently. She opened up a baseball facility, training facility. So she's approaching all the taxing entities due to her bereavement. She's not here. Sorry for that.
We go to item F10, discuss, consider resolution 26-05-04R, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Calvary Construction for the train depot reconstruction, strategic goal 1, sustainable economic development. Heather Ramirez.
Mayor and council, in front of you, I believe there's a hard copy of the resolution. Is there a hard copy of the resolution? We did.
They have it in their iPads, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't know if it was hard copy or,
They don't have it.
perfect, because I did miss the deadline. So, like, I didn't know if it was hard copy. Okay, Mayor and council, in your packets, what you'll see is a resolution for the train depot repair and reconstruction. Just to kind of summarize what this resolution does is it's authorizing the city manager to proceed with emergency repairs and the reconstruction of the train depot now that we have officially verified that the depot is city owned and everything else is leased from Union Pacific. This resolution also acknowledges that TML IRP, which is our insurance carrier, has identified and recommended a qualified construction contractor. Their name is Calvary Construction and Restoration. Calvary actually participates in 2 recognized purchasing co-ops, which you know our purchasing policy does allow the city to obtain goods and services through co-ops, which is TIPS and buy board. This resolution also declares that the damage to the depot has created a health and safety concern, and it also constitutes a public nuisance. And since TML is actively pursuing legal recovery against the responsible parties, that process could still continue to take a long time, and the city cannot wait any longer during the subrogation. So we want to address these unsafe conditions immediately. So what council is going to be authorizing tonight with this resolution is, 1, we're going to be declaring that this is an emergency and it doesn't require competitive bidding. 2 is the use of our insurance, TML, their recommended contractor, which also participates in the co-ops. 3, it gives the city manager the authority to negotiate and execute the contracts up to $1 million, $1,018,085. I believe that was blank on the resolution that was uploaded. So the amount will be $1,018,085. If it goes past that, that's the max our insurance is quoting the city right now. If for any reason it goes past that, we will bring that back to you. This resolution also is allowing the city to coordinate with our insurance company. I do want to say that we've been in contact already with Calvary Construction and Restoration Company. They did send us a quote of a little over $831,000. But this does not include any additional engineering services or costs if it's needed. They won't know until they mobilize here and truly assess the building how much more. So we're asking to approve up to what the insurance is covering.
So is this just to demo what's been wrecked, or is this to demo and restore?
Yes, to demo and restore and bring up to date.
And Mayor and Council, just to add a little bit, we already have had and engaged a structural engineer to come take a look at it through professional services. They determined that the building is structurally sound. It just needs repairs. And in some of the conversations that we had, the intent is to rebuild the outside exactly how it was. And that's where these guys have done this across the country, and TML shoots them extensively throughout the state. The only thing that we plan on, and that's where some of these additional costs I think the total amount of the damages were $663,000 per TML. The quote that came from the contractor was $830-something thousand, but TML has an allowance in there for upgrading, because my conversations with them when we were talking is that depot's old. So inside, we got to bring it up to code on the inside, even if the outside still looks like it's the historical depot that's been there forever. So that's part of what the differential will be on that. But it is structurally sound. We've already verified that.
Take this bill going back to its original site?
As long as council tells us he's being repaired right now on the aside. The artist is the one who has been engaged that built it originally, is the one I've been working with, Chuck Knudsen, because he's the one who initially got it done. So that is in process right now. That is not in this dollar amount, and I think there may be additional funds that may come in to reimburse us for that.
Well, I know that we had used, the guy came in as Chuck was coming out, and that was one of his, I guess, goals to do, and that we use hot tax money to.
Yes, sir, and what I'm excited about, and what with Heather bringing this item, there's been a lot of questions. Well, how come the city's not doing anything? How come the city's not doing anything? Part of it is because we're waiting on the insurance company to come back and tell us you can do something. It wasn't really the city's intent not to do anything for now a year and a half. It was the insurance companies waiting to see, because there's still litigation out there, as Heather said. It's just that now TML has said you're fully insured on this, so we're going to pay this claim and we'll recoup it on the back end.
So they are going to recoup the $1 million loss?
Well, they're going to attempt to, Councilman.
What happens if we were to demo it? I mean, we used to use that for the chamber.
Yes, sir.
There is no longer a chamber, so are we using taxpayers' dollars to repair this?
No, this is gonna be, we're gonna be reimbursing, this is gonna be going to hot funds.
It's going to go through hot funds?
Through hot
Are we
funds
going
to
to guarantee
restore.
to get that money back?
Yes, so actually right now, and Parker can probably follow up, the lawsuit is taking place here in Reeves County, and it remains open for those additional claims.
Besides the history of this building, is there anything else we could utilize the $1 million of hot tax money to maybe bring in new things into this community instead of, I mean, probably going to upset a lot of people, but there's really nobody using that thing besides the history of the building. You could easily demo it and distribute $1 million into other projects into the community.
I do want to clarify one thing with after meeting with our insurance company, is they already sent the city $336,000 to get this project started. The only way we receive the additional funds up to is once the repairs are completed, and then it's reimbursed.
But there is a guarantee though.
Yes.
I would hate to use hot tax and then not get it.
Okay, so the Rodeo Hall of Fame is still in the other end of that building, and they're still operating, correct?
I'm not sure if they're operating. I know there was a bunch of questions about having their electric turned on or not.
Yeah, they've redone that. So it is up and operating, because when it was done, there was some joint services between the chamber and the Rodeo Hall of Fame.
Because it's separated.
And those had to be cut off.
Yeah, and that building's good, right, Mayor? It's pretty good.
Yes, yeah, on that.
They were using 1 meter for the whole building, and then when
that
all
had to
this
be
happened,
separated.
the rodeo hall built their own meter.
It seems excessive for a little piece of remodeling $1
It's
million.
dangerous too to go ahead and put that back up. I don't know. I mean, it was a very, it was a freak accident that I'm glad there was no resulted in, loss of life, or museum, logo the train, but I don't know. I kind of agree. I think it's a lot for a little portion. I don't know.
And I know Crystal had a design, if we had just torn it down, to just add it as park space to enhance the museum too. So.
I think that's going to take further conversations with TML to see what portion of those dollars that we could recover that way if we were to raise the building. And we'd have to also have conversations with Union Pacific, because we do lease a building for $5,000, $6,000 something dollars a year, or the land. The building is ours, so we could tear it down. We're still going to have the lease there. But I got to see what type of remuneration we would get from TML, because I can promise you that, I can't promise you because I can't speak for TML, but the likelihood that we would be able to recover the full $1 million is very low, Councilman.
We talk about building downtown and refurbishing and doing a historical site. To tear it down would be wrong.
Your memorial. Nice outdoor space.
Do a lot with $1 million on other things, projects downtown. I mean, I'd be scared to even play at that park. I would never take my kids, that's my opinion, I would never take my kids nowhere near that park.
But we already had a structural engineer said it's sound.
Yeah.
We have that.
I mean, no disrespect towards the hard work of Crystal, but I would not want my kids around that park.
Right.
Yeah, being that's a historical building, I think that's what it's considered. And then being by the museum, you know, I hate to see it the way it is right now, but I think I hate to see it knocked down. Just because anything modern will never replace that. The history behind it. Even the museum has its own deal about you know, some of the doors and windows from that.
Yeah, they're
from
inside
the old
the
one. Yeah,
museum.
so that's just my opinion. I liked it when I walked in there, and if you know somebody wants it, well, but who does it belong to? Us or
The building is ours.
Okay. So that's just my opinion. I think we need to maintain our part of our history if we're gonna sell Pecos as home of the first rodeo and everything else.
Well, and to the point, listening to what council's talking about tonight, time is of the essence on this, but maybe it would be good to bring this back on the next meeting, and that would give us 2 weeks to maybe address some of the questions that Councilman Carrasco has, that Councilman Trujillo has, and that you all have, as to what happens if we were to tear it down. What do we get? The chances of us getting $1 million, this. So I do not know that we would recover a lot of funds with the damages on there, but that's a conversation that we'd have to have with TML, with our adjusters at TML, in order for us, Heather or I, to really give you the appropriate answer. I think in order to access up to that $1,018,000, it's going to be with rebuilding the facility. So, I mean, if you all would like, we can bring something back on the June 11th meeting and give clarification on that. That's the only commitment that I can make to you right now is if you do require more information, I'd ask that you give us 2 weeks to bring it back.
Okay with that? Any other questions? I'd make a motion to table for the information.
I have a motion from Councilman Arona, a second from Councilwoman Trujillo to table this item until we get further information. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Item F11, discuss, consider rescheduling or canceling the June 25th regular city council meeting. Certificate 05, promote open and consistent communication.
Mayor and Council, good evening. Historically, we have rescheduled the second meeting in June, and the only reason behind that is the West of the Pecos Rodeo does begin June 24th and runs through Saturday, June 27th. It's up to the City Council to consider rescheduling or canceling the June 25th. Staff does see fit. I went ahead and made a list of the next City Council meetings, and that would have us at June 11th and then July 9th if the council does consider canceling. Staff.
Hard, you're exactly right. You know, if it's going to and from the golf course, you have a 3-mile radius. Really, you could almost live in there and take us and within 3 miles get to the golf course. It's when you do the pit stops at the donut place, at the grocery store and stuff, that's where you that's a violation because you're not going to and from, unfortunately.
Also, talking to somebody that was friend who saw one of your officers stop somebody on the golf course, a young kid, a couple of young kids, and took them to their house, you know, to make sure they went home and got everything. So, you know, I think they are working.
They are working it. You know, we try to make sure that they are squared away. We still get a few come in and get permits to try to get theirs legalized. Of course, during the winter months, you don't see them as much as you're really starting to see them a little bit more now. The four-wheelers or the ATVs, like what you're saying, you'll see those really starting to come out again, and it's a matter of catching those. Those are the ones we're not going to pursue. As far as if they take off, it's more dangerous to pursue them than not. And so we have seen accidents happen because of that. And so really get an idea of where their parents are, where the house is, and can gradually make their way there without ending up in a pursuit. And so, yeah, the ATVs and the ROVs, completely different things. And that's like you're saying, we need to make sure that designation is there. I still think if we have something like this, it'd be really nice if we had a place that they could go ride where we could eliminate them being on the streets.
Well, I see them on the Pecos Road.
Sure.
It's dry, so.
Huh?
It's dry, so.
Yeah.
I think in Green Acres, there's an area out there, from what I understand, where somebody owns a piece of land where some of these kids are starting to kind of gravitate that way. Of course, they ride their ATVs there, you know, and to cross state highways and stuff, absolute violation.
So two things that I would just add to the conversation. I think first, if I recall correctly, this discussion about a place for that to legally occur to ride, I believe that's in our strategic plan, and it's something that we've not talked about a lot, but that we can circle back to. And the second thing that I would suggest is that we are working on a number of communications initiatives to make sure that our residents understand fully what the rules of the road are, if you will. When I say road, I kind of mean a lot of code enforcement stuff, which is coming up at forthcoming council meetings, but I think that we could absolutely do some communications around how you can legally ride, where you can go. I think we could do some communications around that to try to get the word out, especially during the summer months.
And we have done that before, and it's just probably a matter of maybe re-educating the community and stuff like that.
Maybe our social media groups can do a little informational.
That's right.
Maybe every quarter do a public service announcement.
Maybe what we need
Reminders.
to do, you know, because I understand it is a big investment that these families make to purchase these. As off-road vehicles, why you want to put them on the streets, I'm not real sure, but we're here, you know, and we have to deal with this.
And part of our SS4A, they were telling us there's different avenues that you can get funding for your public information and public announcements. Once we have everything, all that, that kind of gives us a leg up because we've already adopted this SS4A plan, so then so that's another avenue to look at for some of the funding for that.
Like Ms. Rainey explained, there's quite a few ordinances that you're going to start seeing public education go out on, and this is just one that's on the list. And some of it is kind of example-based. As some of our future education, we want to really invite the council to participate. Loud music. We want the council to participate even in some of the educational videos that we would like to film for the future. And I think maybe hearing it from council we're owning it, right? It's our ordinance, and maybe hearing from the council like, here's what these certain things mean, and really defining what the ordinances are, and maybe developing an understanding of how this means.
And that's still up and down Texas Street.
Yep.
Still racing up and down Texas Street.
Well, you got the little ditch there by the church.
It's fun.
I would say please still call it in, give us the opportunity to at least identify the children or the kids and where the vehicles belong. And, you know, we're not out to chop everybody's legs off on it. We try to give warnings in the beginning without having to pay the $500 fines on these. But we can only do that so many times when the next step is enforcement.
And that's my concern, is the kids.
Yes, sir.
And are those, the ones that I'm seeing, do they have seatbelts? Because they're just not really made for road. So
No,
they
they're
don't have a
not made for
windshield,
road.
they have plexiglass, so that's a no. So, but I just want to bring it up again.
I can't tell the difference.
Yes, sir.
No, I see them
What
in
is
my
it?
house.
ROVs.
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 The ROVs are the big ones, the big tires.
ROVs are the bigger ones, they would see.
The lower one to the round kind of?
Yeah, kind of. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Non-city streets.
So we do have executive session. Okay, we are now going to go into executive session under Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, 551.072 real estate, 551.074 personnel issues, and 551.087 economic development, and it is 7:22 p.m. something that we can?
You can make it a policy maybe, but. so-
I can look
somebody might
further into
record.
that.
Yeah, somebody might record,
Yeah.
you know, any electronic device other than the record. I like to see that.
Okay.
It's a good idea.
Anything else? Okay. No? Nothing else? Okay, then we are adjourned and it is 9:16 p.m.
You know what?